And welcome into In-Game Chat for Saturday, January the 11th, 2025. We are now at Season 19, Episode number 1. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
Welcome into the show, everybody. All right, new season, new year, new episodes, same games. We already talked, like, before the show. What did you do? Played this. Same thing? Same thing, you know? It's like, it's the same old cycle. Which is fine. There's no problem with that, by the way.
Yep.
That is not me saying, like, hey, you should play more variety. Because for longer than we've been probably doing the show, or at least about the same time we've been doing the show, it's always been Destiny for me. So, not that I would ever say anything, but I have no reason to say anything about it whatsoever. But welcome into the show, everybody. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can by checking out ingamechat.net for all the links to interact and intervene and interject and interplay. I don't know. That was a game developer, wasn't it?
Interplay, yes.
Interplay. Was that, hang on, don't tell me, Clay Fighter?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Clay Fighter. Yeah. Anyway, welcome in. You can find us on Twitter at In-Game Chat. You can find us on Blue Sky, In-Game Chat. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. Streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv and search for In-Game Chat. That is where you will be able to find us. You can watch us live while we broadcast here. Looking at our mugs up on the screen there myself right now. Get this turned slightly so that you can see more of this, which is, not really going to bring in the views. You can find us also over on Discord, which is where we're at right now, and, pop in, say hello, that sort of thing. I'm trying to see. I see Duke is there, but it says he's playing Icarus. What do we got? Drunk Degenerate's in there. I think says he's streaming something. Fubal's playing Mass Effect. Who's in the chat room, actually? I haven't been in the chat room. All right. Bama Brian in there. Saw your 3D print stuff there, Bama Brian, in the other hobbies category of our Discord, where you made Mjolnir or Meow Meow. So, welcome in, everybody. So, RJ, it's been 2 weeks, and like I said, you and I talked earlier just about what we've been playing. But go ahead and tell everybody else, what you've been playing, how far you got playing it, I guess.
Yeah, well, let's get a little stuff out of the way. I did play a little bit of Grand Theft Auto Online. Did the new things with the new DLC with Agents of Sabotage. Yeah, which is basically what it breaks down to is a bunch of mini heists. Where you just have to do like 3 setup missions and one big finale to get some cash out of it. So usually it's going to be around 150 to 300 or 350 to 400,000 in-game currency per run. So it's not like something that's difficult or really hard to get into, but it's really just a way to get some quick cash throughout the game. Something to take up your time while you're waiting for something to cool down or while you're trying to set up another mission or whatnot. So it's something, like I said, it's just a little mini heist or whatever, and you got some bonuses here and there that you can pick up that you can use elsewhere in the game. Let's see, outside of that, I played a bit of more Virtua Fighter 5. Yeah. So shout out to Akai VF, who's been running a online league for years. And we had our first session this past Sunday, first session of the year, and we had a full house, full 16 folks in the room, and it made for some really interesting battles and gameplay. I did a little better than I thought I would because I hadn't played too much of it, so I got at least had a winning record, 1 or 2 games over 500. Yeah. So I was able to do better than I thought, but it was really good seeing everybody, the usuals, come in along with some new folks. So hopefully we'll get them back next week and the weeks after on. But for the most part, I've been playing First Ascendant, and the First Ascendant I've been grinding characters and materials. Yeah, and getting weapons and everything like that. But the thing about it is, it's a grind that's not too tedious.
Yeah,
it's not that hard to get. Like there are items in there that I can pick up that's necessary for the items that I want, and I can get them through way of a mission that repeats every 30 seconds. I mean, it takes about, with the right equipment, you can take out this. You can do this mission in about 15 seconds. If you got a group with you, it takes no time at all. And when the mission is done, 30 seconds later, it repeats. So you can lather, rinse, repeat until you get everything you need. It takes no time at all. So there are aspects of that makes the grind more bearable.
Sounds like a glide grind, where you just a glide grind, you know, where you just like sail on through it, and then once you get off the slip and slide, you walk back to the front and you do it again, you know.
So that's basically it. Lather, rinse, repeat until you get everything you need. So I was able to get some really choice weapons out the thing. Unfortunately, the way to build the weapon up, you have to grind the weapon again. It's not like as far as I know, there's not anything else you can use other than grind the weapon again. So I need to get a weapon to its max potency. You have to get that weapon 5 times. You have to get that weapon 5 times. So grind 5 different times to get the weapon.
Takes you 15 seconds or less.
To get parts for it.
Yeah.
For some parts of it. But then you have to get a blueprint and 4 other elements in there, and they all take different things. I'm saying the parts of the things that you need are easy to get. Some are easy, some take a little more effort, but you can be well on your way of getting what you need for the next weapon to upgrade the other in no time flat. So and
you're playing on PlayStation.
I'm playing on the PS4.
Yeah.
Only drawback, like I said, the last time I talked about First Ascendant, is the how unstable.
That's right.
Yeah, it was the instability of the game. It was crashing a lot. Now there have been some hot fixes. It's not lately. It hasn't been as bad, but it does happen every now and then.
Is it an early access game?
No, it's been out for a minute.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of games that have been out for a while that are still in early access, or at least feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to see.
From what I gathered, it's not as stable on PS4, but as opposed to the PC or PS5.
I'm just curious if. Well, the thing is it crossplay?
Yeah.
And I think we've already asked this.
I think it is crossplay.
Is that right?
I think it is crossplay, yeah.
Is it the first?
The first Descendant.
Descendant, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was looking at the first Ascendant. A instead of D.
D, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's see. I remember some. I think they had
yeah, you can play this thing everywhere.
I think they had a little promo or something, some type of a stream about the game recently, about the updates they did.
Yeah.
I think the biggest aspect of it is they added a new Descendant, Inez, who was a character introduced in the storyline when they did introduce the Void missions, Void Vessel missions. There were 2 characters, Keelan, Inez, and the dog, Fellow. They introduced all those characters, and Keelan and Fellow was able to be playable if you grinded for it, and Inez was going to be released later on. I think she's going to be coming out on the 16th of January, and they've also added some other features in the game I haven't really taken a good look at yet, but what they got right now, I'm still playing and enjoying that.
Nexon Group.
Yes.
Yeah, not Nexcon. Nexon Games is the developer on that. I mean, I've seen it, but I really haven't looked into it, but I mean, always worth a shot.
Yeah.
To take a look at that. Anything else?
No, just those 3 for 2 weeks. Goodness.
For me, not much that is different. It is continuing with Marvel Snap, and it is continuing Indiana Jones. So I have
no big gaps in between play, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I put in a little bit of everything on. Well, I mean, obviously Snap is an everyday game that I do, but Indy, and I know you're talking about Indy, I haven't gone longer than like 2 days without playing it, maybe 3. Basically, I'll fire it up. I'll tell myself, especially during the week, I don't really put a lot of time into it, but there is enough time during the week, usually depending on what I decide to do, where I can load up that game. And thankfully, I went through and I took out the opening logo movies and everything else that plays when you launch the game. Mm-hmm. I was able to go in there and basically remove those so that they don't play anymore. It just launches into the game, and I don't have to watch that stupid stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to see Bethesda's logo pop up. I don't have to see Machine Games logo pop up. I don't see Lucasfilm logo pop up. I don't have to see any of that stuff. Just goes right into the game.
Remember the days when you could just hit a button and just skip that?
And you can't.
And you can't, yeah.
No, I remembered... I remember some games you had to watch it like the first time, but then every time afterwards you could skip it.
Yeah.
Or you never even had to. You could always skip it.
Yeah.
And then we got into the age where it didn't. And I mean, I'm all for the credit. That's what the credits are for. But to see your logo pop up every time, it just kind of annoying. And what else do they pop up? The licensing and all these other little just documentation. No ads. There's no ads that pop. Well, yeah, there's no ads that pop up yet.
Yet.
I imagine we're on the way, if not already there in some games.
Mm-hmm.
But I removed all that, so it takes me no time to get into the game. Mm-hmm. And so I'll just set a small goal for myself. Like if there's a part of the map I haven't been to yet, hey, let's go over there and expose that map, get it open, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Or if there's one of these little side missions that aren't story related, hey, let's go do that. Or there's all kinds of different things you can do with collecting books and collecting medicine bottles and collecting all kinds of different things that if you have if you've picked up these things along the way, your map displays where these things are. And so I can look at that map and say, let's just go get these 3 things that are right around here. And that's all we'll do. Let's just do that. Mm-hmm. Go there, pick it up, do whatever, do it. I was like, all right, done. Out of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keeps me in, but it doesn't just continue to I don't, put a whole bunch of time into it because I'm not really trying to put a whole bunch of time into it. I'm just trying to continue to slowly clear the maps.
Yeah. Is it broken up in chapters?
No.
So it's not like the Uncharted format, like chapter 1 this, then
right.
Chapter 2
no,
this.
nothing like
nothing
that.
Like that. Okay.
I mean, you could say that it is by the locations that you go to,
mm-hmm.
But for the most part, there's not like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 type of thing that comes up. There's no title cards.
Yeah, because I was thinking if it's a story-based game, you could get like 1 or 2 chapters in, then take a break, and then get the next few chapters in and keep going that way until you finish the game. But if it's not in that format, how do you, how would you break it up in a story-based game like this?
Locations would be the best because that's the way it feels like it's broken up to right now. Like if I'm going to talk to somebody about the game, I'm going to ask them where they're at, and they're going to tell me which location they're at. Are they at the Vatican? Are they in the Himalayas? Are they, they're going to tell me which location they're at. Mm-hmm. Once they tell me that, I'll be like, ooh, okay, how far are you into that? Where are you into that? And they'll tell me, oh, I'm working on, whatever that's going on in that location. Mm-hmm. And I'll have a better idea of how far into the game they are type of thing. But there is no chapter selection or anything like that. Okay. More likely it's like a location selection. I can't go back and play through earlier things, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I can go through my save files and load a previous save and do it if I want to do that. Yeah. But otherwise, this is one of those games that when you're finished, and I haven't finished it yet, but I did look up this because I was curious if that was the case. But it's one of those games that when you're finished, you still can go back and collect all your side quests and do everything else. Okay. So you can finish the main story, then you can go back and finish everything else. Mm-hmm. So it's not chapter specific in that regard. You can just go to your maps that you have and see where other things are that you haven't collected or other things that you haven't done. And said, okay, now I need to go to Egypt. Now I need to go back to the Vatican. Now I need to go back to Marshall College, whatever the case. You can go back to all the different places, collect all the things you didn't pick up, and, try in 100%.
Yeah, you said Bethesda, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like Fallout. After you're done with the main story, go back and clean up some stuff.
Possibly, but it's also Machine Games, which is the Wolf 3D guys. They were the. I know it's Bethesda is the.
Was it the same? Was it the same way in Wolfenstein then?
No, I don't think it was. Wolf did not, from what I remember. Now, maybe in some of the sequels that they did.
Yeah.
New Blood or Old Blood. Was it Old Blood? New Blood? What was it called?
The New Order and the Old Blood.
Yeah, New Order, Old Blood.
And then you had Young Blood.
Yeah, and then they had that one that I didn't really get into that was with the two kids and stuff or whatever it was.
Young Blood.
Young Blood, yeah.
Yeah, the first one was the New Order. That was the one that got me into Wolfenstein.
Right, and then it was Old Blood.
Old Blood was the prequel to that.
Which I liked that one.
Okay, yeah, I got that one, I think. And then Young Blood was the sequel to
I did
New
not.
Order.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
That was the one that didn't pan over well with.
Nah, I didn't like that. I didn't like what they were doing with that.
Did you play the DLC for that one? The three heroes.
No. I mean, I didn't play.
Not for Young Blood. I mean, I think it was for the either the Old Blood or the New Order.
Probably.
Yeah,
I'd have to look, but I'm not sure.
I keep seeing it on. I saw it on special. And I was thinking, wait a minute, did I play that one yet? I don't recall.
I know. I mean, I liked those New Order and Old Blood. Loved them.
Order, yeah, like that.
Which is why I was hopeful for what Machine Games was doing, and apparently Machine Games were the developers for Butcher Bay, Chronicles of Riddick.
Okay.
The first person Butcher Bay Chronicles of Riddick game that they did, which was one of those not necessarily under the radar type games, but didn't get a whole lot of hype. Mm-hmm. But the people that played it loved it. Mm. And it really did first person brawler pretty good. Mm-hmm. The way they took first person mechanic for a game that kind of feels like it would have been better third person, but no, first person they did very, very well with it.
Okay.
Combat in this is pretty fun. I try to avoid it, though. I mean, it's fisticuffs, obviously, that you want to get into. You don't want to go up against the guns. So stealthy, and which I'm okay with. Stealthy somewhat. It ain't Splinter Cell levels of stealth. It's not even. What would be another one? It's not really even Assassin's Creed level of stealth. You know,
no radar, no nothing,
no. There's no radar.
No map, like no map, no radar, nothing like that.
Yeah, you don't get any kind of indication of like. Well, I have to look again. No, you don't get any kind of indication of their sight, their view type of thing. There is no like HUD of a map. Mm-hmm. You have a journal that has a map in it, but the game still operates whenever you pull the journal out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In other words, it's not a pause minute.
It's not a pause,
exactly. Yeah. So, if you're squatted behind a box trying to hide and you want to see where you're at and you open that up, well, somebody's walking towards you and you're not seeing that because a book's in front of your face. You're going to get caught. Getting caught is not necessarily a problem. Escaping out of those issues is not really an issue. It is when firearms are involved. Mm-hmm. Then that's a problem. You don't have much in the way of defense against firearms, especially early on. Early on, you're real squishy. You come back later after you've upgraded yourself with health and all these other things, you get a better shot at it. But more for me, it is the exploration, discovery, the puzzle solving. That's all it is for me. The story, basically. The side quest I'm enjoying, just to kind of give somewhat of a review on this, is that I say there's two. One of the biggest problems with me problems that I have with it is traversal. Took me until Egypt, which I think is it's the second big location, but as far as progress of the game, it's the third location. Mm-hmm. That was when I discovered that these little bitty dots on my map were the road signs, and road signs are how you fast travel within a map.
And there was nothing told or given to you or anything about
it? It was originally in the beginning at the Vatican, but I didn't use it too much.
Did you have to?
I didn't really have to, because there was so much to do in different places that if I was somewhere and I needed to be somewhere else, I could switch my objective and be like, oh, here's some stuff I can do while I'm here, instead of going to this other location, whatever the case may be. Egypt didn't have that issue as much. There were things like I could have been in a good spot, but there were places where you know what? I'm not equipped to handle this area yet. I need to leave. And the only way you unlock those is if you find them. They're not hard to find. You're just going to find them as you're walking the map, but you do have to walk the map to find them. Mm-hmm. And these places are big, and you get no method of transportation other than your legs. That's it. In the Vatican, it's not that big of a deal. Everything's kind of, you're in the Vatican.
Yeah.
Egypt is bigger. Open. More space.
Yeah.
Then the area that I'm in right now, and I will mispronounce where it is, but you're mostly traveling by boat. Little trolling motor type thing, boat, one of those things. You're mostly traveling by that. This is where your fast travel comes in handy, because I cannot stand driving that boat. If I can just fast travel to the location, I'll hoof it on foot, without having to deal with the boat. Originally, it was difficult to get accustomed to. I'm getting better at it, but I still hate using it. Mm-hmm. If you pull out your map while you're in the boat stops. In other words, you can't pull out the map and continue kind of to drive the boat. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have to stop, pull the map out. Okay, I want to be pointed that way. Put the map away, point your boat, take it out again just to make sure you're in the right direction. Did the arrow turn the way I wanted to, or is it reversed? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make sure you're in the right thing. Okay, go. Then you go, stop, pull the book out. Did I miss my turn? Nope, here we go. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
That part I can't stand. Once you unlock the fast, and they were thankfully they were very generous with the fast travel locations in that particular area, because there is one at every dock that you can go to, and once you've found them all, you can just zip, 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 zip. There's other little things in the water where you can stop the boat, get out, go underwater, loot a cave, whatever. There's things like that you can do, but for the most part, getting to island is better once you have the fast travel unlocked, so you don't have to deal with the boat. So other than that, though, I really have no other notes about it. That thing it's been fantastic, and I've loved every minute of it. It's been great to get into a single player game again that is kind of, well, first off, it's right up my alley for the IP. So it's a very familiar IP. It's something very, it's the nostalgia tickle, right? Yeah. It's the nostalgia tickle that it gives me, and in such a wonderful way with Troy Baker's impression of Harrison Ford, with the way they were able to use the face of young Harrison Ford. The moments that they've written in there that feel very indie-esque, they've done a really, really good job with this. It's really, really good. It deserves all the praise that it's getting. I really have no other problems with it. I think it's been done very, very well. It'll be a personal preference to say that there may be a little too much side action type stuff, you know what I mean? Too much of a collectathon on some things. Mm-hmm. And
does it feel like one of those thrown in there to just add length to the game type things?
Yes and no. Mm-hmm. I say no because you don't have to do it.
That's true. Yeah.
There's nothing about it that says that you got to do all of that. Mm-hmm. Most of it now, if I were to, and that may be something I do later on, is just I may do another playthrough and not try and speed run it, but just stick to the story. Because the exploration, when you're trying to find all these other things or do all these other side quests, they're nice because they give you skill points type of thing that you use to upgrade yourself.
So they're kind of necessary because you need the skill points in order to get not be so squishy, first of all.
Right.
And to do things you need to do. Maybe there's one of those situations where you need this skill to traverse this area to get further along in the story.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, the way it rewards you for those things, and that's what you use to upgrade your character, but that's what you use to upgrade Indy. So, yeah, it might be a thing to have to do. Excuse me, a thing to have to do. But some of it feels like a collectathon. There's really only there's one thing that if you collect them all, you get a secret cutscene ending type thing. It's not. I don't think it's. I haven't seen it yet, and I haven't heard about it. I know that it's there because I wanted to know. To like, one of those things was like, what's the significance of me doing all this? Mm-hmm. Do I need to? And I looked it up. All right, it's like okay, all right, I'll do it.
That's worth it.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it is an alternate ending to the story or if it's just a tacked on type. Here's the ending that you got, and here's a little, sort of an after credits ending type thing.
Yeah.
That goes along with the story that you've done. Because you're not supposed to, although some people have figured it out, you're not supposed to complete that alternate ending or that secret ending until you finish the first game. Or finish the game itself. Mm-hmm. Once you finish the game, you get the last piece that then you can unlock the other ending with. Mm-hmm. But some people have found a glitch or a bug or something to where they can do it with one less and have been able to do it before the game ends. I'm not looking to try and do that. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
If I finish the game and I get my last piece, then I know what to do. That's fine. So I'm collecting those so I can do that. But I've also been collecting everything else, which is why I say maybe on a second run I go through and I don't pay as much attention to some of these side quests. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You're right, though. It does help to have a larger health bar, to have more stamina. Mm-hmm. There's an exhaustion bar as well as a health bar. So if you're running, you will run out of... Yeah, you can't run forever. You can't do big swings. You can't, big haymakers and stuff.
Yeah, can't hang off the edge forever.
Right. Yeah. Yes. So there is that aspect to it. Mm-hmm. But I've had fun with it. I've really enjoyed it. It is fantastic. If you get a chance to play it, it is on Game Pass. If you get a chance to play it, please do. This is one of those games. It is a single-player game. They're not going to add anything to it as far as... they're going to add DLC because there's some story DLC coming up, but... it's not one of those things where they're just going to keep asking you for money after you've bought the game. Mm-hmm. There's no in-game currency to buy. There's not like, hey, we'll give you this if you purchase whatever. It's nothing like that. It really is really good, and it's worth it now, full price, if you were to buy it. But, man, Game Pass, come on, go for it. If you've got Game Pass, go for it. And you like this type of game. So, and I do. Love it. It's wonderful. So, yeah, that's it. As far as... what I've played, right? I think so. I'd have to go back and see.
No little demos or anything like that?
No, I didn't really jump into the demos. I'd have to go to my Steam account to see what it is that I've played recently. But honestly, I think that's really all that has been there. And I'm checking now. Let's go to profile. Going to the profile. I'm going to see what I've been playing. Yeah, it's Marvel Snap. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, recent activities in the past 2 weeks, it shows that I did that. I loaded up Wallpaper Engine again, and then I immediately took it off. I was like, nah, not going to do this. And Ballionaire, I believe, is the name of that other game. That finally released, and I picked that up.
Mm-hmm. The balloon thing, right?
Yeah, it drops. It's like a mixture of Peggle and Plinko.
Plinko, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see.
Oh, someone asked about Indiana Jones. What's the timeline for it in between the movies? Or do the movies have anything to do with the?
There is a timeline. It takes place between, the chronology of the films is when you talk about the main parts of the film.
Right.
Obviously, Last Crusade starts when he was a boy. Mm-hmm. But let's not include that. Let's just talk about the chronology of when the main story happens. Mm-hmm. Temple of Doom is first. Raiders is second. Then Great Circle, the game, would be third in line. Last Crusade is fourth. Crystal Skull is fifth. Dial of Destiny is sixth. That would be the progression. That would be where it falls into, in between Raiders, in between Crusade.
Okay.
So, that's where it goes in the timeline. And yeah, I'm looking at my last played. I got Pinball Effects on here because I did play Black Knight 2000, 3000, Black Knight 2000, I think. And I really haven't done anything else with that as well. So I picked up a lot of games. There were sales aplenty, for the Steam sale and stuff like that. I have to get, well, you know what? I have to take a break. So we're going to do that, and then we'll come back, and I'll, talk about that site that I use that helped me buy a lot of games, and we'll jump into news, and we got a lot of it. We're not going to get to every single thing, but there is a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. 2 weeks, oddly enough, is you just get avalanche of stories to go over. So we'll try and do that when we come back. It is, I don't want to say classic game week, but it's the one where we use older stuff. Like, for instance, this one. It comes from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, back on the Wii. Well, GameCube and Wii, I think both of them got released on both consoles. Got the game. Hyrule Field is the name of this track. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into In-Game Chat. Music here from Harvest Moon. The track is called Back to Nature. All right, just a real quick thing to shout out gg.deals. And that is where I go, man. I hauled in so much. Well, looking back on it right now, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's not as much as I thought. And I say that because I'm just kind of going down and looking at it, and I'm like, I guess I didn't. There is these games from GOG I either pulled from Prime Gaming, which means they're free, or I got them from the website for free. Because, look, I like GOG.com, goodoldgames.com. I like them, but I don't buy from them. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that I'm like, I see something on GOG and I'm like, I'm going to give them money. Because I'll check and see if it's on Steam first and just get it there if that's the case. They do have a game that I'm absolutely interested in. It's Legacy of Kain, the very first one. They do have that on GOG. And I don't know, it was like $2, so I may pick that up. But so I'm looking here. That's the thing about GG Deals. If you go to gg.deals, you can sign in through your Steam account, and then you can sync your Steam collection. This will keep you from buying things that you already own or trying to get things that you already own. Mm-hmm. It will actually not necessarily highlight those, but I know on my desktop, my laptop, it doesn't do that. My laptop just gives me a check mark by the game to say, hey, you own it. If you hover over the check mark, it'll tell you where you own it. If you own it on Steam, GOG, Uplay, Epic, it gives you all the different storefronts of where you own that game if you sync them with all of your stuff. And you can do that across a whole bunch of platforms, and the site tells you how. There's no cost involved on this thing, but you go and you sign up, you link through Steam, it'll tell you all your titles and stuff. And you can actually create a wish list and then go to your wish list to see, hey, is that on sale yet? I think it's fantastic. I used it a ton during the holidays and have continued to use it with just checking up on sales and everything else. What did I pick up? I picked up Terra Nil. I think that was like $9. Shows I have Black Desert as well. I don't know if that came from a humble bundle, but it's not something I would have had to have been maybe a humble bundle or something. Or just a free game, because I don't remember picking that up or wanting to get it. Pac-Man Museum Plus, pick that up. Machinica Atlas, I got that. Kill Knight I got on Epic Games, that was a freebie. Cube Escape Paradox on Steam. Samsara Room. Inculinati, which I think was a Humble Bundle thing. Yeah, it was. Humble Bundle gave me Inculinati, Old World, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, which is the Jet Set Radio, homage.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's an homage to that. The Invincible, Vinba, Moonstone Island as well. Monster Prom 3, Atlas Fallen, and Crime Boss. Vembrance, Cold Soul, that's another one. Orcs Must Die 3, Redacted. Oh, these are Epic games that I picked up during those freebies as well. Tinykin I bought. I think it was maybe $1. Paper Trail, that was on sale. 2024 Mosaic Retrospective, that is a free game that you can actually get right now. It's kind of Minesweeper-esque, but it's free on Steam. Picked up Shadows of Doubt, Pepper Grinder, I Am Bread, as you play as a piece of bread, The Bunker, The Pedestrian, The House of Da Vinci 3, American Arcadia, Penny's Big Breakaway. I did pick up regular Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man because I really like Pac-Man. I got Pac-Man 256 as well. Again, I like my Pac-Man. I got Pac-Man World Repack. I picked up Okami. Did you ever play Okami?
No.
It was a Capcom title.
Yeah. Playing as a dog. Amaterasu.
Yeah. A dog, right?
Yeah.
Wolf. Yeah, dog, wolf. One of those things. Well, I got Okami. That was $5. Kato or Kato, C-A-T-O. That's a fun little platformer, by the way. It was on sale. Basically, it takes and I've talked about this before, but it takes the concept of a cat, which always lands on its feet, and then you put a piece of buttered toast on its back. Mm-hmm. Because the buttered toast always lands, buttered side down or something like that? I don't know what the case
worst case scenario is like
right.
Jam on toast, butter on toast. The
exactly.
The side that'll ruin your carpet or your floor, that's what's hitting the floor.
Right. So you can do something to where your cat can basically walk on the ceiling as long as your toast is on the bottom. It's a weird thing. It's a weird dynamic. But
as long as the butter's pointing to the floor, the cat can walk on it.
The cat can, right, exactly. So that's the mechanic in the game that it uses. Mm-hmm. And so it's a nice platformer. I played the demo of it and loved it, and so I was glad to see it on sale. Psychroma, I picked that up. Underground Blossom, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and that was it for my Steam haul for the holidays there. Everything else I picked up. Let's see, what else did I get? Turmoil was free on Epic Games. Spiritmancer was free through Prime. Skydrift Infinity, free through Prime. Eastern Exorcist, free through Prime. Another Skydrift, the regular game, again through Prime, no problem there. And this morning I grabbed V Rising for Steam for, I think, $9. Yeah. All through GG.deals. So I'm just only telling you about this because it's got some stuff that is really, really good. There are key shops involved, and you just use your best judgment about that. I have used them and have had no problem with any of them. Just understand the risks that you take in using key shops. It's not a situation where you get your account banned on Steam or anything like that. You just may pay for a game and not be able to get the game. Because it's kind of, it's kind of back alley deal in there a little bit. But for the most part, I have not had for the most part, I've never had a problem. I've never bought a key from any of these places and then had something come up and say, Can't use that key, or never get the key at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Never have. So I'm just telling you going into this, I've used a few here, and I've never had a problem with them. Mm-hmm. But again, just understand the risks. And when you use key shops at GG Deals, there is a little warning for those other key shops to where you click on it, it'll tell you the risks that are involved. Whether while the price may say it's really, really low, the company that you use will add a fee regardless of the payment method. Mm-hmm. Some will tell you if you use PayPal, there's no fee. But if you use a credit card, there's a fee. Some will just add a fee regardless of the payment method you use. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just understand what you're getting into when you do that. Yeah. But for some of these, let's see. So, Streets of Rage 4. I can get that for $7.20 through a key shop, which I don't know exactly what the percentage is different there, like how, but this is showing as a historical low. Here's one for, here's a game, let's see, Beneath Oresa. I have no idea anything about that game. It's 95 cents. I feel like that's worth the chance, you know? 95 cents. If I get the game, great. If I don't, that's 95 cents. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at some of those. I don't really go big on these key shops with big prices. I'm like, Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 for $1.54? Sure. I might try that out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the other problem you got to look at is you might nickel and dime yourself into debt with these low prices. So anyway, let's see. I'm looking at the chat room here because we've got about 8 minutes here for the top of the hour.
The operator.
That was in my cart for a while.
I was looking at GG on it.
Yeah, what do they got?
It said the historical low was 1087.
That
official store is 1189.
Yeah, that was the price over the holidays, and I decided not to pick it up. Mm-hmm. It was in my cart. I had my cart. I think my cart was like $400 worth because I had just gone through my wish list and was like, add.
Yeah.
And then I go back and I kind of curate and be like, do I really want that? Nah, I can get that out. No, I can pull that out. I feel like I bought more than that, though. Didn't I? I also got Brotato, and it's not here either. Right? Yeah. Yeah, there's some games that aren't showing up here for some reason in my collection after I sync them. And that is strange. I wonder why. Wonder if it's sorted by... It says sort recently added. Which is strange because I don't see some, you know what? Some of my stuff's not here. That's why it felt like I was like, I feel like there's more here. Like there's more I picked up.
Picked up or just put in the cart?
No, there's more games because I did I pick up Brotato? Now I don't know. I wish it would show you not what you've recently played, but the web store does not show you... maybe it does. Let's see. That says recently played. I don't want recently played. Okay, all games. Sort by... Yeah. Is there any way to sort these? Right now it's sorted by playtime. So I got playtime, name, or achievement completion, and I don't want any of those. So, No, I really can't look at the list here, because I know I picked up more stuff. But I don't have a way to... I don't have a way to look at that. In the desktop app. Or in the web page stuff. Yeah. I guess I could probably let's see if the app has it. We're learning together here. Because
because every time I go on Steam, the thing's updating something and changing. So heck, maybe been some interface change for all we know. But don't you usually put a notice after that? Notice with that? Some email, some message to you?
No, I can't do it on the app either. I can sort by recently played or how much time I put into it or by name. But that does not give me... I wonder under settings... Nope. Yeah, there's the store. Can I go here? Group, badges, inventory. No, inventory's not going to be that. Account details. Maybe that will have something? Purchase history. There we go. Mm-hmm. There we go. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. What else did I get? There's Brotato. For whatever reason, that was not showing up in the GG Deals thing. But that was the only one, apparently, because I'm looking through it. I'm like, oh, all right. That was the only one. So, yeah. Felt like I got a bunch, but honestly, when I look at it, it was a bunch of really small games. The Pac-Man Museum got me like a bunch of Pac-Man games. You know? Yeah. So, anyway, there we go. That was interesting. It felt like there was a bunch, but I guess maybe it's not as many as I thought, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Let's see. AC Wraith says, same, I want Legacy of Kain, but my game budget is always Steam gift cards. Yeah, you know what? And Legacy of Kain on GOG right now is like really, really cheap. And the easiest way to show you that is to go to gg.deals and type in Legacy of Kain. Not Kin, but Kain. Oh, that's more than I thought. $6.99. But when it's on sale, it was a lot cheaper than that. Defiance right now is only 97 cents. Oh, the remasters of Soul Reaver 1 and 2 are $18 right now. Probably through a key shop, I would imagine. Yep. Something called Uplay, but not Ubisoft. Yeah. It's something else. But yeah, so Legacy of Kain is there, and that's the only place it is. Let's see, Lol Bread. Yeah, it was the I Am Bread thing was it was either a Humble Bundle or I bought House of Da Vinci through Fanatical, which is a legit game store. Yeah, and they were like, we're going to include four mystery games for $1 a piece, you know. And I said, okay, fine, we'll do that. Let's see what the mystery games are. They give you a guarantee of like these all have this rating or higher for whatever they are. You know, in other words, the user ratings are. Yeah. So it's like, give it a shot. See what I got. And I Am Bread was one of those that I picked up. So let's see. Lethal Migraine says I'm no good at it, but he does enjoy Brotato. AC Wraith says I got bundles as well. Zacharia tables. Yeah, I saw you pick up those for the for Steam, the pinball stuff. Metroidvanias plus the Peanuts Christmas pinball table on Pinball Effects. I did not see that. I wish I did, but I did not. I did not see that the Peanuts Christmas pinball. Gonna have to go look for that during the break. When we come back after the break, we're going to jump into the news because there is a lot to hit. I don't know where we're going to start. Probably the Switch, or at least the Switch 2, maybe. But we'll get into that coming up next hour here on In-Game Chat. We got music here from Croc, Legend of the Gobos, I guess. It's an old game. But we'll be right back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into In-Game Chat. Music there from Grand Theft Auto 4. It's the main theme of the game. It's called Soviet Connection. I'm guessing this is the year of Grand Theft Auto 6, but could easily be next year.
No. Well, what have we said about AAA big games? We expect it to be delayed at some point.
We do, maybe. Well, look at Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Delayed again, right?
Delayed again.
Delayed again, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So much so that I saw it was on Domino's Pizza's Facebook page. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think ever since Wendy's started had their little beef thing on social media, other companies been jumping on each other for things like that.
Exactly. And all it was Domino's Pizza posted the
notice
that Ubisoft had published, saying that, hey, we're gonna delay the game again, that sort of thing. And all they wrote was like, contact us if you want to get your deliveries on time or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And so I just interesting sort of interaction there between brands.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we get one, maybe we don't. I don't know. Lethal Migraine says next Microsoft console is going to be called the Switchbox Station. I don't know. The rumor, and there is a rumor for the next Xbox to be next year. I'm not buying into it, but the rumor of the name and this far out, I don't think you would have a name yet. I think you may have a project name for the console, but Xbox Prime, I think, is what they were talking about. I don't know. Regardless of that, let's move over to Nintendo. And the reason that you're saying that, Lethal Migraine, is because we've already got rumors of games that are going to be showing up on the Switch 2. Halo being one of those titles. Some form of Halo. I don't know what Halo. I don't know if it's the Master Chief Collection or what, but something Halo related possibly showing up on the Switch 2. The interesting thing about the Switch 2, and there are numerous articles that we have in our news collection here that we use. It's just one of those things where it's not even leaks. It's just people with their hands on them showing off, like, here's what the controllers look like. Here's what the docking station looks like. It's mostly companies that are getting these things so they can either make third-party versions of them, or they're making cases for them, or protection for them.
Yeah.
So they have mock-ups. There's been, like, somebody did a 3D render because they made the case for the game or protective shell for the game or the console, and they have a render of what it looks like, and looks like a Switch, honestly. I can't give you any kind of comparison of, like, it looks like a Switch but bigger or anything like that. I don't know, but I mean, we got pictures of we got pictures of, like, the motherboard of what it looks like, the guts, everything. But Nintendo has not acknowledged the Switch 2 in any regard. They have talked about, and I think the only thing they have ever said is a successor to the Switch, and I'm going to quote that: Switch successor or successor to the Switch. They have never formally used a name called Switch 2. In any of their marketing, in any of their press releases, they have never said the term Switch 2. They've not announced anything. But yet at CES, that just took place last week, there was third parties there with, like, here's a case, we built the case for this, or we built this for your Switch 2, even though the Switch 2 is not out yet. It's all this stuff, but Nintendo has been silent on it, which is fine. That's Nintendo. They're going to do it. It's not like it's going to hurt them. It just feels like it feels like the Switch 2 is leaking part by part. Here is the left Joy-Con. Here is the right Joy-Con. Here's the motherboard. Here's the docking station. here's the main aspect of it. Here's the case for it. So, we'll see. But it has just been slowly trickling out. No price yet. And rumor is we're supposed to hear something about it this month. I don't know when. But the rumor is we're supposed to hear something official this month, with possibly a release in April, I think.
Any expos on the horizon?
There's none. There's none that's been announced. Now, Microsoft has one. It's not going to matter right now. That's not going to have anything to do it. But Microsoft does have, and I have it here, it's their first Developer Direct of 2025. And so that's coming up later this month on the 23rd, which is a Thursday. And it'll happen at noon Central Time. So yeah, it says Microsoft said fans will get an inside look at a selection of highly anticipated games coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass this year. So that means they're focusing on games releasing this year. Expect developers to offer an in-depth look at their upcoming titles. Compulsion Games will show off South of Midnight. Sandfall Interactive will showcase Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And id Software will reveal more on Doom: The Dark Ages. Microsoft also teased that it will, and I'm quoting this, visit a surprise location to see another studio's brand new game. What is that brand new game? There's a lot of speculation right now that it may be Bethesda and Elder Scrolls, the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remaster. Which, sure, because we're not going to get Elder Scrolls 6 anytime soon, are we? So, I don't know. In fact, Elder Scrolls 6, I had this in here. It hit, This was reported by GameSpot. The wait for Elder Scrolls 6 just reached a sad milestone. This was on January the 7th. The Elder Scrolls 6 is the next big game from Bethesda Game Studios, but no one should expect it soon. A Reddit user pointed out that it has now been 2,403 days since the Elder Scrolls 6 was announced on June 10th, 2018. What's the significance of 2,403 days? That's the number of days that the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer was revealed after Elder Scrolls 5 had been released on November 11th, 2011. So yeah. Still got a long way to go. But that's nothing. I'm in the 4,000 days since a new Splinter Cell, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you guys just wait. Wait double what you just got. And you'll be at my area with how long I've been waiting for a Splinter Cell game.
Yep.
Seriously, how long have I been waiting for a Splinter Cell game? 4,000 plus days. Been waiting for a new Splinter Cell, and you've talked about it, Ubisoft. You've said we have a Splinter Cell remake that we're going to release. Now, I'm excluding remakes from that, although you look at Final Fantasy VII remake, and that was more of a remake continuation type thing. You know, they remade the game, but then it continued on after what was supposed to be the end of it. Mm-hmm. It kept going, and then they made a sequel to that with Rebirth. So, you know, if you do that, sure, we'll call it. We'll reset the clock if that's the case. But yeah, new Splinter Cell game? Nope, nothing. So, let's see. Nintendo Switch 2. The leaks are everywhere, and here is why. Details about upcoming games consoles always leak before their official announcement. Unlike a game in development, too many people outside the console's company need to know about the device in advance for the secret to be kept. You got third-party publishers and developers that have to know about the console. Part suppliers have to know about it. Accessory manufacturers, retailers, people in the factories that make the things. Somewhere that, chain is going to break. Because somebody's going to be like, ooh, I got Switch 2. I'm going to take a picture of it and put it out on the internet, But the situation with the Switch 2 at this moment is extreme. I'm reading this off of Polygon. The last few weeks have seen a blizzard of leaks, including apparent photos of final hardware. The dam is broken to the extent that peripheral manufacturer Genkai, which claims to have obtained a real Switch 2 through back channels, has thrown caution to the wind and shown a mock-up of the console at CES. Genkai even has a detailed animated render of Nintendo's new console on its website. Throughout most of last year, it was business as usual in Switch 2 leak land. A few details emerged in reports sourced from behind closed doors meetings with Nintendo partners. Then in September, the leak shifted up a gear. Molds, schematics, hardware specifications, they all emerged from manufacturers in China that were detailed enough for one YouTuber to 3D print a mock-up of the new console.
There it is.
Since then, corroborating evidence has piled up to the extent that only a handful of mysteries remain, mostly a new button and an extra USB-C port. Also an optical sensor that they've noticed as well. We even got leaks of the color schemes that we're going to be getting. Orange and blue, I believe, were what we were getting. Anyway, it's an unprecedented amount of data on a console that has not even been announced. Like, Nintendo has still not announced this thing. So what happened? In all probability, it's just a matter of timing. Reports indicate that Nintendo originally planned to launch the Switch 2 back in 2024, but delayed it into 2025 to allow time to finish new games and build up enough inventory to prevent stock shortages. But this delay must have presented the company with a dilemma. If it announced a new console in 2024, it could have the knock-on effect of thwarting original Switch sales during the crucial holiday period. If we announce a new console before the holidays, our sales for the holidays will probably be small or not what we would like. So let's don't announce it. This hadn't been a concern when Nintendo announced the original Switch with a video in October of 2016. The Wii U was already a sales dud, and Nintendo was keen to move on, so there was no harm in announcing a new console that early, because the Wii U just wasn't doing it. The Switch still sells in large numbers to this day, and it seems Nintendo likely judged that announcing its next move wasn't worth the potential hit to the revenue. The strategy is consistent with Nintendo's choice to reveal one detail about Switch 2 before the holidays, and that would be that it will be backward compatible, thus reassuring players that it'll still be worth buying Switch games. Nintendo's strategy pulled its preparations for Switch 2 in opposing directions. On one hand, it wanted a late announcement and short promotional campaign in order to protect the Switch sales. On the other, it reportedly wanted a long manufacturing lead-in before launch to build up amount of stock. This resulted in an unusual situation. Nintendo was likely gearing up for full Switch 2 production months before the console was even announced. What appear to be final retail units haven't even started to appear in the wild. They have actually started to appear in the wild, all still before an announcement has been made. So, why hasn't Nintendo appeared to do anything to squash the leaks? We don't know. Nintendo is never likely to say, but it seems likely that Nintendo leadership was fully aware that leaks were an inevitable consequence of this launch strategy and have decided to accept them, in this case, as the cost of doing business. There's no problem with that. First off, it didn't hurt your Christmas sales by these leaks coming out that I know of. I have no idea what the numbers were, but I doubt it hurt anything. Secondly, it's not hurting sales now, and it's not going to hurt sales of the console when you release it. It is a little odd that we've got this much out there before even announcing the console's existence, but that's fine. We're just waiting for the announcement. Once the announcement's made, then we can move on to be like, okay, what are the games? What are the games? What's the price? When's the release date? What's it do? Tell me the strength of the system. Like, what are we talking? Is it on par with what? It's double the speed of the Switch 1 or something. Yeah, just give us the specs. The good news is that with the holiday series period out of the way, we can probably expect an announcement very soon. More than that, the Switch 2 is a tangible reality. It does exist. It's being made right now. Doesn't necessarily mean the launch is imminent, but it's probably not too far off. So, there you go with the Switch. Lethal Migrant says GTA 5 has been out a long while too, and it must be close to 4,000 days. GTA 5, what was the day that it released? When did it release?
What?
GTA 5 release.
Goodness, it has been a while,
I know. And really, where do you want to go with that? September 17th of 2013. Then yes, because it was 2013 when Splinter Cell Blacklist released. So yeah, we're in the 4,000 day period here for GTA 6. But we know it's coming. You know, we know that it's been made. We know it's being worked on. We got a trailer for it.
Yeah,
we know we're getting it.
Made, worked on, news, all types of stuff been going on. A lot of hype around it, all that good stuff. Not so much for Splinter Cell.
Yeah, no. Let me see. Splinter Cell.
What was the last thing? Was Sam Fisher appearing in a guest appearance in something else?
There was a mobile game, not specifically for Splinter Cell, but there was a mobile game that had Sam Fisher in it.
Yeah.
And around that same time, I think he makes an appearance in Ghost Recon Wildlands or whatever that open world Ghost Recon game was.
Which, of course, does not count.
No. September 17th of 2013 was GTA 5. August 20th of 2013 was Blacklist. So the wait is still longer. It's only some days, but the wait is still longer. So yeah. You know, that was interesting that we covered all the Switch 2 stuff. Because, I mean, it was a bunch, man. I had so much in here. From just the drip. The Joy-Con design was released. It was like every week we'd get a new part of the console released. Or leaked, or whatever. The dummy units were shown at CES. Accessory announcements were aligned as far as or were released with the console leaks as well.
I know you said it was you were okay with that, but I'm guessing the thing about it is Nintendo, the folks who like cease and desist and sue you out of existence, and then this happens, and they're like, it was inevitable.
Well, I'm not sure. Other than the fact that they're making, I don't know. I would imagine if they have some sort of deal with Nintendo, it's probably that you cannot show any of this stuff off. But it's like they said in the Polygon article. There's so many people in the chain from third-party developers and third-party accessory makers and things like that. There's so many people in that chain that, you know, that's going to happen. Normally you make the announcement and it's like, if they had made the announcement in 2024, then we wouldn't be talking about this. We'd just be like, oh, this company's making this accessory for the game, for the console. That's great, whatever. Wouldn't even be talking about it. Maybe if even they just announced it, regardless of when it was coming out, just saying that, hey, we've got a Switch 2 on the way and there's more to come later. We probably still would be okay with it. But they have not said anything. So it's just been one of those things where you take all the leaks and you're just like, all right, start to add it up. There was rumors on games. Mario Kart 9, I think, was one of the rumors. Then we've got the ones... Switch 2 is reporting getting Halo and another big Xbox game as Microsoft sets to be a very big supporter of the Switch 2. So yeah, might get some more stuff on there as well. There's a lot. Let's see. Nearly 19,000 games released on Steam last year. We got a bunch of those end of the year things.
Yeah.
85% of Steam. This year's Steam Replay reveals 85% of Steam users in 2024 spent time playing games that released in 2023 or earlier. So yeah, I thought there would be more. Is there more stats? Let's see. Or is that my replay? Okay, that's my replay. I don't want mine. I want everybody else's. You know, all those things. What else do we have? Coming up on a break? Nope. Oh my God, I forgot. We got brand new graphics cards announced.
Ready to buy one?
No.
Yeah, well.
That's kind of where I was going. Like, hey, we got new cards announced. It's like, not going to own any of them, but we got new cards.
Mm-hmm.
Whoo, boy. Now, the
May as well say new car.
I don't know about new car, but still, it might as well be.
Yeah.
Put it that way. For what you got to pay for it, it might as well be just a brand new car. AMD did some stuff. They announced new CPUs and some new graphics cards to go with them and that sort of thing. So, yeah, good job, AMD. You went first, and then NVIDIA came second and just stole everybody's thunder. Not necessarily because it's better, but just because of the price. Ah, boy. The 5070. It's the 50 series. I own a 30 series.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 3080, and the 40 series came out, I guess, last year, I think. And I skipped that because I was just like, no. And the prices were up there for it. And now we got the 50 series. The 5070 is the low tier, the low end, and it comes in at $550. The 5070 right now at $550 would be better than what I have currently, a 3080. It would also be cheaper than what I paid for my 3080 right now too.
Yeah,
maybe. That depends on what we get whenever these things get released. And I say that because I don't have the NVIDIA version of the card, like that company's version. I have the EVGA card, and anytime you buy from third parties, the price gets bumped because they add all sorts of stuff to it. Fans and all kinds of stuff added to the card itself. So you're always paying a premium if you buy third party, like MSI, GeForce. No.
Yeah, so it's not going to be the default version of that board when you get it from those.
Right, exactly, exactly. The 5070 Ti is $750. The 5080, I own a 3080. The 5080 is $999.
Just say $1,000.
I know. The 5090 is $2,000. Or $1,990.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate it. No, I'm just saying the double the price for that. What's the difference?
Oh boy, that's a lot of jargon I ain't gonna go into.
Okay.
But
does it perform better? Much better.
Supposedly, yes.
It's a good word. Supposedly.
Right.
Better.
We're going to get, I think we're going to get the reviewers and YouTubers and everybody else. I think we're supposed to get that stuff not this week, or actually maybe late this week.
Okay.
In other words, later this week, maybe. When are these things? Hang on. Let me see when these things are releasing.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of specs here, and I just don't want to get into the weeds on that because it's a lot.
We have to get the specs. I think the bottom line I'm trying to think about is double the price is not going to be double the performance, is it?
Right. You would think that you're getting double that. You may be getting more than that, actually, but I don't know because I don't have... Okay, January 30th.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's this week. I think it's the week after, the week of the 20th.
Okay.
Sometime during the week of the 20th or when we're supposed to get the review sites and everybody else to sort of the review embargo for that. Yeah. And that's when we're really going to know some stuff. Mm-hmm. We're really going to know what the power of these cards are and what they do. There's a whole presentation you can watch, but it's very AI implemented.
Mm-hmm.
If it works, I'm okay with it. If it doesn't, obviously I'm not. Yeah. But I'm curious as to how well that works. And that's kind of what I want to see what these review sites are gonna do about that and see how that works. Basically, what they're doing to get your frame rate up, it's all about FPS, right? It's all about your frames per second.
Yeah.
Not first-person shooters, not that FPS, but FPS frames per second. 60 frames per second is obviously the goal for almost everything. You want 60, but you can get higher than that. You can get up to 90. You can get up higher than that if you want to. Mm-hmm. And so what the cards are trying to do, and what the AI does, is it puts in more frames. In other words, it analyzes the frame that it has and generates more from that, which means that you can kind of inflate that number a little bit when you talk about, hey, this card at 4K resolution on ultra settings for this game gives you an FPS of 250. But if you turn off the AI part of that, what do you get? And that's your true number, and how well does that do? And I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot of differences there. Like with the AI implementation, you get this many frames. Without it, you get this many frames. With AI implementation and this many frames, here's how it kind of worked. Here's how it was, was it how well it was working with that? Yeah. Did you notice problems? Did the AI not perform as well as it could? Were there kind of some janky moments with it or not? I don't know. So one of the things that 5070 I told you about that was only $550, the low end. Yeah. The low end of the 50 series was supposed to match the performance of the highest end of the 40 series. Mm-hmm. A 4090 costs $1,500 right now. Mm. But with the 5070, at $550, you can get that kind of performance. But that's because they're including the AI aspect. Yeah. So they're using that number of, with our AI generated frames, this thing matches what the 4090 can do, but we can turn that off, and I don't guess it does. We don't know because the reviewers haven't gotten it in their hands yet. Yeah. So that's one of the things. Right now, all we're going on is marketing. Yeah. We don't have any hands-on reviews, hands-on kind of
hands-on knowledge of this thing.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly.
So we're just going to have to wait.
Yeah.
Wait and see. Saving money or just spend your money on it or save it for something else.
Yep. All right, let's take our last break of the evening here. We're going to go to break here. When we come back, we'll just jump right back into the news here because, again, we've got a lot of it. We'll go through, maybe do a speed run of it. This, I came across it as one of the classics, and I'm like, surely we've done it. I don't know that we have. And it's also a theme that I just don't hear a lot of. Even though I used to a long time ago, they've never kind of revisited this as a theme or anything else. It's Super Mario Brothers 2, which was, you remember the story, the original creator of Super Mario Brothers did do a sequel, but it was just more levels of the first one. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Nintendo thought, or at least Nintendo of America or somebody didn't think that was going to fly here, of just redoing that. And it was also more difficult, I think. And so they took, was it Doki Doki Panic or something? Doki Doki Run, something like that. Mm-hmm. They took that game, put their Mario characters in it, switched it around, centralized it around the Mario characters as well, and put that out in the U.S. as Super Mario Brothers 2. So it's one that just doesn't, you talk about it, it's Mario 3, it's Mario World, it's Mario Wonder, it's Mario Party, it's Mario Odyssey, it's New Super Mario U or something like that. Mm-hmm. Rarely is it ever, oh, hey, man, Super Mario 2. No, not really. Not really. So anyway, it's the theme from that. We'll be right back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back into In-Game Chat. Music here from Ape Escape. The very first one called Thick Jungle. All right, let's see if we can do a speed run of news articles here. There is no Dead Space 4. EA said no to it when the original co-creator of Dead Space kind of went to him and said, hey, that Dead Space remake you did pretty good. You want me to make another one? No. So, all right. Money for the remake, but not money for a brand new... Mm-hmm. Games are expensive to make, man.
Yeah.
I mean...
That's why we talked about ads earlier.
I know.
They might be coming.
You know, and I bet EA looked at that and said, all right, single-player title...
that we can't monetize further.
Yeah, like how do... You know, there's no real way we can kind of monetize that.
So that's the priority, really. So
probably.
Like you said, games are expensive. That's probably the priority. If it can't be monetized in a way that keeps money coming in after the initial purchase.
Because now it takes a lot of money to make those games, you know?
The AAAs, that's probably why the indies like Balatro and games of that nature with one developer and not much resources are...
Mm-hmm.
A successful game can't be made without a lot of money.
Exactly.
Not to the degree they like.
Yeah. What do we have? Hothead Games shut down. I can't remember what they made. Let's see. PlayStation Plus January games were revealed. You got Suicide Squad for PlayStation Plus.
Even lower?
Well, free.
Oh, can't get...
It's PlayStation Plus. It's your free games.
Okay, it's free.
Yeah.
Free.
I know. It's still a decision, right? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Probably not.
You'd say that, but at this point, why not? They're done with it. They're not going to do anymore. They're done. So I don't know why you wouldn't just include that, but yeah.
Because I don't think I've seen that before. Free with
everything?
with all the DLC.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I know that it was $5 on Steam over the Black Friday sale or Christmas holidays or something.
95% off of the limited edition.
That had everything.
Yeah.
$5. So yeah, what was the other game? Oh, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a third game. And I am not remembering it for some reason. I added them to my library just today. I went to the website and I put them in there. I mean, I've got the article here. I can look at it and tell you what it was. Oh, yeah, Stanley Parable.
Okay.
The Ultra Deluxe Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Which may include all the DLC, maybe? I don't know. Been out long enough that they could do that. What else do we have? Apple has halted production of their Vision Pro VR series. I loved what it was, and I was really curious to see what it could do, but at the same time, I was like, I ain't paying money for that. No way. No. Not the kind of money you're asking for, and what... No. Switch 2 news. Notch announced a Minecraft 2. Basically he's announced Minecraft 2. So, we'll see. I didn't know that he... I thought Microsoft owned that property, right? Like... Oh, wait. Hang on. Sorry, everyone. Minecraft 2 is canceled. After he basically announced Minecraft 2 last week, Notch has changed his mind. Talked to the fellas at the office. He said earlier this week, looks like we're making levers and chests. Tipping point was PC Gamer saying it seemed interesting. Yes, I still love PC Gamer. This is where I'm getting this from. Trust me, the spiritual successor would be way less fun than the dungeon roguelike, he wrote. There are always kind of sad nostalgia dumps. So, yeah. As for Minecraft 2, you'll have to ask Microsoft about that one. Reminding everyone that the game has been out of his hands for a decade now. Yeah, I know. That's what I thought, that we're not getting a Minecraft 2 because he doesn't own the property anymore. He sold that. What else do we have? The AMD and NVIDIA announcements. Oh, also at CES, we got the announcement that a Helldivers 2 film was in production, that a Horizon Zero Dawn film was in production, and that an anime for Ghost of Tsushima was in production for 2027, exclusively on Crunchyroll. Sushi sounds really good right now. What else do we have? Rocksteady was hit by end-of-the-year layoffs, but of course, because they made Suicide Squad and just shot themselves in the foot. Well, I say Warner Brothers did that. I don't think they did it. I mean, they had to build the game, but when you're mandated by your higher-ups that this is a game you're going to make, shut up and do it. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Hey, I did what you told me, right?
Yeah, now get out.
You told me to do this. I did what you told me. Yeah, that's right. We told you to do that, and you're fired. Yep. Stop letting those people make decisions. This goes back to the Larian boss from Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios. The boss, when he was given he gave that speech before he did Game of the Year at the Video Game Awards, talking about who's going to win next year's Game of the Year award. And it was going to be the Game of the Year award's going to go to the company or to the game that was made by people who didn't have interference from other people, made a game that they wanted to make. And not a game that the other people wanted them to make or that the developer or that the publisher wanted them to make. But
someone who doesn't know anything about video games telling people how to make video games.
They made a game that they want to make. Sure, you can support them in that. I understand that you've got to have money and backing and all this other stuff to do these things. But if you give them that, you will get a good game out of it. Astrobot, the ones that won that one, I got that for Christmas, by the way. I forgot in all the games that I went through and were buying on sale, I forgot the games that I got for Christmas. But yeah, so that's exactly what you saw from Rocksteady, was that they weren't able to make the game they wanted to make. They made the game that Warner Brothers wanted them to make, that their bosses wanted them to make, that the people who signed their paychecks wanted them to make. And that is, they were locked into that. There's nothing they could do. Hands were tied. What else do we have? Call of Duty keeps getting more expensive to make, even though it's selling fewer copies. That was a news article there. There was something about some crunch I wanted to get into because it was Last of Us, Assassin's Creed Animation Support Studios, that some studio, and there's a video on this, and I have not watched it, so I really can't speak on it just yet, but it talks about overseas crunch. And crunch is never good. Physical and verbal abuse involved in that, and that is something I'm going to have to look into to see more of that report. Not because I don't believe it happened. I absolutely believe it happened. But I don't know all the details. And so I don't want to throw out names or throw out things that I think I read or that I think I saw because memory could be bad. We heard Assassin's Creed Shadows have been delayed yet again. So I think March 20th or 30th, sometime in March is when we're getting that. It went from February to March. Yeah. Some Lego news. In the Lego Ideas category where they go through and you vote on user creations to be turned into real sets, there's a PlayStation 2 set that I hope makes it. Because I would love to build a Lego PS2. That little, thing, that little PS2 with the blue and the thing. It's nice. And we got confirmation that Nintendo is partnering with Lego to do a Lego Game Boy, which I would be all in for. Keep doing the consoles, man. That's fantastic. Yeah. They've already done the Nintendo and the Atari.
Yeah.
So keep doing that.
Hey, plot twist, make them work.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. The Mario one's kind of cool in that it can do some motion in it. The Atari one doesn't, but I still love the way it looks. It's that nice brown board. It's just really nice. And then the, I guess, I don't know about the Game Boy.
The wood grain look?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old Atari 2600.
Yeah. Wood grain.
There's a Lego set of that. There's a Lego version of that. So, yeah, it's really cool. What else do we have in the news? Switch 2 again. Oh, yeah. Amazon revealed 16 titles heading to Prime Gaming in January. I'll try and run those down for you as quick as I can. Eastern Exorcist, which I added, The Bridge, Bioshock 2 Remastered, Spiritmancer, Skydrift Infinity, Grip, SteamWorld Quest, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, Deus Ex, Game of the Year Edition, To the Rescue, Star Stuff, Spitlings, I've never heard of that, Zombie Army 4, and then later in the month we're getting Ender Lilies, Blood West, and Super Meat Boy Forever, as far as some free game titles that you can pick up if you're an Amazon Prime member. Fallout Season 2 has been delayed. The filming has been delayed because of the fires that are going out there in L.A. In fact, there's a lot of game people's developers and stuff like that who have kind of had to not necessarily put their game on hold, but put their updates on hold because of the fires that are going on, the evacuations that have been necessary. Just really, really horrible stuff going on out there with the fires and stuff. We got the DICE Award nominees. Which, hey, this is great. A video game award show that covers the entire year previous. Not everything up through an arbitrary date in December or November, whatever the case may be. So yeah. I don't want to go through all of them here. So, let's see. Original music. Astrobot, Helldivers 2, Monument Valley 3, Hellblade 2, and Star Wars Outlaws for original music. That's audio design. Story. 1000X Resist is nominated. Indiana Jones is nominated. Metaphor ReFantazio is nominated. Still Wakes the Deep and Thank Goodness You're Here is also nominated.
Okay.
Technical Achievement. I'm only bringing this up because it does have Astrobot, Indy, Hellblade 2, and Warhammer, Space Marine 2, but it also includes Batman Arkham Shadow, which is that VR Batman game. And that's probably going to take it because I have heard just phenomenal reviews about a VR Batman game and how good it is. I won't get to check it out. Action Game of the Year. Nominees are Stellar Blade, Helldivers 2, Black Ops 6, Black Myth Wukong, and Arkham Shadow, again, the VR game. Adventure Game of the Year. Prince of Persia Lost Crown, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Indiana Jones, 1000X Resist, and Animal Well nominated for that one. There's something called Family Game of the Year, Astrobot, Cat Quest 3, Little Kitty Big City, Plucky Squire, and Super Mario Party Jamboree. Fighting Game of the Year, Blazing Strike, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns, Tekken 8, and a game called Underdogs. You familiar with that fighting game? I'm not either. Let's see. Racing Game of the Year, Role-Playing Game of the Year, Sports Game of the Year, Strategy Game of the Year, Immersive Reality Technical Achievement, Immersive Reality Game of the Year, Outstanding Achievement for an Independent Game, Animal Well, Balatro, Grun, Indica, and Mouthwashing. Mobile Game of the Year, Balatro is nominated for that one. Online Game of the Year, Marvel Rivals got in there. Helldivers 2 also nominated. Man, there's a lot of great... Jeez. All right, Game of the Year. Finally got to it. Game of the Year is Helldivers 2, Black Myth Wukong, Astrobot, Balatro, and Indiana Jones. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Just looked up Underdogs, Underground Mech Fights.
Interesting, okay.
Wrap yourself in 5 tons of metal and go smashing through a dark scene of full-on metal-on-metal violence. Kind of like, I guess, Robot Jocks.
Yeah.
Except not Gundam-looking things. Man. They're various types. They're not all one type, yeah.
I remember picking that up from the rental store.
Yeah.
Robot Jocks. The DICE Awards are going to happen February the 13th, by the way.
Also looked up Hothead Games.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like most of their stuff since 2012 was all Android, iOS titles.
Really?
Anyway.
But what was it prior to that? Because the name sounds real familiar.
They're the ones who made Penny Arcade Adventures on the Rain Slick Precipice of Darkness.
Ah, okay.
It looks like they're, from the article, it's their first titles, was the Penny Arcade ones.
I like those.
Episode 1 and 2. Then they did Death Spank, Swarm, Kickin' Mama, The Baconing, Card Combat, Sea Stars, and then everything's past that is
mobile,
Android, iOS. Yeah, so
I remember them for doing the Penny Arcade games. I really liked those Penny Arcade games. Yeah. That was really fun. And then it was supposed to get a third one, and it kind of messed up. They did do a third one, but it completely was, the aesthetic and everything was completely different from the first two games. It went into like an 8-bit territory thing. Like it was cell shaded.
Yeah, it looked.
It was cell shaded for the first two, and then they went pixel graphics for the third. Somebody else had to take over, but they also were trying to finish the story that they had started in the first to get to the third game. So anyway, I'm guessing that's going to wrap it up. I mean, there's still more to go over, only for the fact that we didn't deep dive into any of these things, like Amazon canceling pre-orders for Metroid Prime 4, which I don't know what that says, other than, it's not, it's further out from when it's going to be released than we think, whatever the case may be. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up. Let's check the... Okay, yeah. Lethal Migraine said, since EVGA doesn't make cards anymore, who is the most trusted card maker? I do not know. I have an EVGA card, and I really haven't bothered to look. I am partial to MSI, but not necessarily big on the brand thing. There's Asus, there is Gigabyte, there's Zotac, which I've never really bothered with. But I had also mentioned in the chat room that I would likely go with one of the Founders Editions just because those are going to be the lowest price, if you can find them, and that's usually the hardest part, is finding the cards. If I were to go with those, and I have no intention of going with those at all anytime soon.
Speaking of parts, right quick, are there still a little drop-off on power supplies? Like, power supplies were, like, really messed up after that EVGA thing, yeah. I
haven't looked. I mean, I haven't done any part shopping.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what any of that is,
Because I think to this day, still the most reliable power supply I've ever had was a Rosewell. Yeah, I mean, that thing lasted me a good while before I had to finally switch up and upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's literally, they don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't. That's going to wrap things up for us, folks. Hope you have a fantastic week. We will return next week for you. And we're going to end here with music from a game called A Hat in Time. The title of this one is Rush Hour. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next Saturday.